Hello, and welcome back to the 4Tiers Risk Assessment video series. This video is the third in the tutorial series and covers the topic of using the 4Tiers risk application to add new risks to the risk subgroups. During the second video, you would have mastered adding groups and subgroups, setting up risk categories, and an overview of the help and new user guide. It's now time to move on and start adding risks to build the assessment. We begin this video at the familiar dashboard, displaying active groups and subgroups. To add a risk, we perform these simple basic steps. Select the subgroup, the risk icon will activate, click the icon, and the new risk form will be displayed. A text field is provided identifying who raised the risk, a question frequently asked during risk meetings. The owner of the risk is created during the assessment by selecting the user button at the bottom of the screen, displaying the following form. The category dropdown allows the user to select a category for the risk. Adding categories was demonstrated in video 2 of the series. The status allows the user to close the risk when fully mitigated. When the risk has been closed, the user will be prompted for the mitigation to advise if the risk has been avoided, controlled, transferred, or retained. The risk detail provides the test description for the risk, which will appear on the risk list view. A text field is provided to detail the impacts of the risk. The consequence and likelihoods provide drop-down boxes, and when set, the inherited risk will automatically be calculated. When treatments and actions have been added and matured, the treatment effectiveness can be set and modified. Adding treatments and actions is described later in video 4 of the series. The risk form has now been completed. The risk considers the training expectation on the business partners and the potential impacts if this risk is not appropriately mitigated. The likelihood is set to likely, with a consequence of severe. As discussed earlier, treatment effectiveness cannot be set at this stage until treatments have been added to the risk. Adding treatments and actions will be covered in video 4 of the series. All the fields have now been completed and the Save button is now active. After selecting the Save button, the new risk will display on the risk list view. We hope you have enjoyed this video. For more information on adding risks, the quick help covers the topic of adding risks and is available under Step 3, Adding a risk to a subgroup. Adding risks is also covered in Section 4 of the new user tutorial guide, Adding risks and assigning owners. It's now time to move on to adding treatments and actions to your risk assessment.